Islam, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Osio, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour. This is your brother Zach Bey, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live and in full effect. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm. Leave a comment below, interact with my content. I really thank you for joining me. Today I want to continue on the conversation of reparations and striving for a betterment for our nation, but I do want to talk about some of the obstacles that we may face or overcome, or even this stigma of fear that some of our people, even the elders, might still hold on to. And as far as a fear like if we did build something, they will only destroy it again, like they've already done. Now, historically, or even to this present day, I really hate hearing people who are not from America, or people who have no real knowledge of history, or even American history, and what has been done to so-called Negroes, so-called African Americans, so-called Black people here in America, the Moors of America, the American Indians, the things that have been done to us historically to keep us down and to destroy our nationhood and our humanity as a people. Like I said, a lot of the old timers speak like if we did build up something, they will only destroy it again. Now, people outside the country, or some people, have asked a very foolish question, or a very disrespectful question, as far as what have so-called black people ever done for themselves here in America? Like, everything that they've ever achieved has only been done because they were colonized and so-called conquered. We are not a conquered people by the so-called white man. That's absolutely not true. We had beautiful architectural structures over here. We had pyramids over here. We had beautiful garments. We have beautiful jewelry. Like, our fashion sense, our style of dress has always been like top of the line. It has always been like idolized by other nations of people. Historically, even to this day, our people are the trendsetters. We're the ones who make anything cool. We're the ones who make anything look good or worthwhile. But back to how we can continue to uplift our nation and what we might go through from the enemy that may attack us. I'm not going to say that we have nothing to fear entirely. I do believe there are forces that are working actively against us. Matter of fact, I know that there are forces working actively against us, from raising fallen humanity. All right. There's actively forces. It's $1 billion industry to keep the so-called black community in disarray. It's $1 billion industry. Best believe it. I want to speak on the so-called Negro Wall Streets that we had all up and down the East Coast before they were destroyed and burned down in a lot of the major cities. We can start there. I want to speak on primarily Tulsa, Oklahoma at this moment. After we were moved from the East Coast, after the Trail of Tears, because that's how a lot of our people, the American Indians, got from the East to the West. So I actually have family who still live in the Oklahoma territory to this day. A lot of our people were moved. The ones who didn't want to give up their cultural heritage, who didn't want to be assimilated into the so-called majority of society, the ones who didn't get Christianized, the ones who didn't get sent off to boarding schools, the ones who were pretty much forcibly removed, the Indian Removal Act. Trail of Tears. They were forced from the east, the Eastern Woodlands tribes, to the west. So across the Mississippi River, which was the divide, and then to the plains, the middle of the country, and even further to the west as westward expansion continued to happen. But long story short, they destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma with a firebomb. That's really what I want to speak about in this modern day and age. How people say if we build something up, they'll simply only destroy it. That could be a possibility, but I'm not going to give up on us building our own flourishing society and community here on this land, which is rightfully ours, ancestrally, primordially. We're never going to give up. We're never going to leave and go somewhere else. This is our land. If anything, all the foreigners need to leave and go back to their homelands. But they destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma by rioting the so-called, when I say they, I mean so-called white rioters, the pale faces, government organizations. It could have been the Ku Klux Klan. It could have been the police and the fire department. I believe all these forces worked together in order to destroy multiple Negro Wall Streets all up and down the East Coast, and so-called Negro towns and settlements, and even during the westward expansion. So Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood District is one of the most historical accounts of what has happened, and the last few surviving ancestors are still fighting for a remedy, reimbursement, restitution for the property, land, lives, a whole life that was lost back in that time. Pretty much everything, lost everything. And those people, the enemies, burned it to the ground. Now that's just one instance. I want to kind of go through a small historical chain so we can see that this is a pattern of the enemy. They say the enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy. This is just a few historical accounts of the times they have come to kill, steal, and destroy our people. They've come to kill, steal, and destroy the righteous ones because they are wicked. And this will only offend somebody who is an oppressor. If you're not an oppressor, I'm not talking to you. So, Tulsa, Oklahoma, they dropped a firebomb on it. That's what I really want to get into. They literally dropped a bomb on it. Military planes, United States government planes dropped firebombs on Tulsa and burned it to the ground. All right, it's a historical account. Now let's move a little further, and let's speak about the 1985 MOVE movement, and when they dropped a bomb in Philadelphia and literally destroyed and killed dozens of lives of our people in order to rid the city of a so-called nuisance that was simply our people trying to organize and build up a type of coalition for the betterment of our people and for our nation. All right, these were people who were being peaceful at the time, and of course there's always going to be lies told by the so-called mainstream media and told by the enemies and the adversaries that these people were violent, that they deserved to have exactly what happened to them. And it's absolutely not. They came in like a invading force into that neighborhood in Philadelphia and attempted to use their force and physical might in order to remove these people from their land. All right, now when I say their land, I mean our land. And when I talk about our land, anytime there's any type of colonizers removing indigenous people, so-called black, so-called Negro, the American Indians, the Moors here in America, anytime I see that happen, that's a travesty. I, I believe that's absolutely against the Most High. That's absolutely the enemy attacking the righteous, no matter what. So the way that they got rid of the MOVE movement is the Philadelphia police organized, and once again, they dropped a bomb, a firebomb. They literally dropped a firebomb on these people, and this is in 1985, a few years before I was conceived and born. My heart really goes out to these people, the survivors, the ones who were, of course, just like the Black Panther Party, a lot of them were targeted by the government, falsely imprisoned. They're prisoners of war, all right? They're not just simply prisoners of economic circumstances or of this system. They're literally prisoners of war. It is a physical, a mental, and spiritual war that is being waged against our people every single day. And there's $1 billion industry behind it to keep us blind, to keep us divided on what's actually going on, to keep us distracted. When I say us, I mean my people. So we can't forget Tulsa, Oklahoma. They didn't like what we were doing there. The enemy dropped a bomb and destroyed it and burned everything down. No assistance from the fire departments. 1985, the MOVE movement, the Philadelphia police organized and dropped a bomb in order to displace and destroy and kill all of those people and destroy the property there in that Philadelphia community. And last but not least, I want to speak on the ex-LAPD officer, Christopher Dorner. All right, it was a huge, like a manhunt that was going on for this brother. When that happened, so-called alleged shooting or so-called assassination attempts. I don't have 100% of the facts on what this brother might have been going through or what might have happened, because a lot of lines are blurred. A lot of details were kind of like all over the place. But I believe a concerted effort to hide the motives, the real motives of what this brother was doing, have been pretty much contorted and twisted into something that's completely a false narrative. All right. But something tells me, all right, I'm going to say the ancestors are whispering and telling me that whatever this brother was doing, whatever so-called hit attempts or whatever people he was targeting, really deserved to be targeted. Whatever evil that they were doing in order to be the downfall of our people and our community, this brother might have been targeting the ones who were truly the evil ones. But he was labeled a domestic terrorist or something of that nature. A manhunt was on the way. He was cornered in a cabin or something in the woods. It was surrounded by state and local police, policy enforcers, government agencies, all of that, by the enemy. He was completely surrounded by the enemy. And they decided to use a tactical droid to once again bomb and destroy everything in that vicinity. All right. So they sent a technical drone to detonate itself in the vicinity of that cabin in order to take his life. And they burned everything to the ground once again. Now, this is the pattern I wanted our people to see, what we potentially might be up against when we try to build our community and our nation as a people. There is a concerted effort of the enemy really trying to steal, kill, and destroy. And to this day, they're not trying, they are doing it. They're stealing, they're killing, and they're destroying our people, the righteous ones. And we have to stand together. If we don't know that we're the righteous ones, we don't know to stand together and fight. We don't know our true power. A lot of us are uneducated because we're educated in their systems. They're indoctrinating us. We really need to stand together, combine our lights, and shine against the darkness. And I believe that we can build a better future for us and our children and our children's children into a betterment of the entire world, right? Rise of the Moors worldwide. There's a lot of nations doing things, working together for a betterment of mankind and a planetary uniting as far as prosperity, life, and love, and not war, destruction, and fear that's being pushed by this giant propaganda machine. That's all that I have for you today on this topic. I want everybody to know to stay strong out there, to stay studied up. Continue to study, continue to read, continue to learn, unite with like minds, and just don't give up the fight. Don't give up the struggle. Let your light shine. And it will draw other lights that are kin. And when those few lights bind together, they'll create a larger flame. All right. And we'll light our way through the darkness to a better future for tomorrow, for us and our children. All right. That's the way the righteous has to go. We always have to be the light in the darkness. And I will continue to be a light in the darkness. My light may not be that bright, but hey, I'm gonna continue to let it shine every single day and try to put this knowledge out there as best I can. And hopefully my voice will reach the ones who it's meant to reach, and even further and beyond. Once again, this is your brother Tarik Bey, Indigenous American Moor. Thank you. Peace. Wado.